Well, the movie that is supposed to save the MCU, according to some people, finally has a trailer. And at the risk of being called a grifter or Mr. Negative, I have to be honest. I was left feeling unimpressed. Let's discuss.
I watch so you don't have to.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Let's go, baby. I've been refreshing my feed all day for this. Just a few seconds in and we already have a pegging joke. Fear not, everyone, we are in good hands. I'm so glad that I watched Loki so I know what's going on in the Deadpool trailer. Did you see that reloading shot? Hell to the yes, pure cinema. You could tell that they were cooking here, and we're going to be eating good when this movie's released. All praise Marvel Jesus. Yeah, that 20th Century Fox logo is where it belongs, in the dirt. Oh, there's Pyro. No way, it can't be. That's a very recognizable shadow. There's the claws, let's go! It's so beautiful. Deadpool 3 is really going to save the MCU. This is what peak fiction looks like. I guess it's safe to say that reports of superhero fatigue have been greatly exaggerated. Ladies and gentlemen, I would once again like to point out the irony of Disney and Marvel Studios and a majority of their fanboys banking on 20th Century Fox established characters to save their franchise.
My, how the tables have turned.
The jokes write themselves because for years these people told me that the Fox X-Men movies were inferior. Weird because it seems like everyone is excited for these characters to return now. But I digress. Now I hate to be that guy, but if I wasn't that guy, I wouldn't be doing my job. Because when people come here, they expect honesty. And from the very beginning, I've been honest about my feelings on this movie. First of all, I highly doubt that this film is going to save the MCU, whatever that means. Because like No Way Home, once those nostalgia bait effects start to wear off, Marvel Studios will then be forced to tell stories again, and we all know that they suck at that.
Why are you the way that you are?
They will at some point have to invest in building new characters that people can connect with. And I don't have confidence in them doing that either. If the Young Avengers and the Thunderbolts are what you are relying on post Deadpool 3, then it doesn't really matter how good this movie ends up being or not being now, does it? Still dark times ahead for the MCU, and yes, they put themselves in that situation.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Now, as far as the trailer itself, there was nothing in this trailer that really changed my mind about Deadpool 3. In fact, I already went into it with pretty low expectations and still somehow came out feeling underwhelmed. You see, a trailer is supposed to sell you on the prospect of seeing a movie without revealing too much about it. Now, I don't think that they revealed too much about Deadpool 3 in this trailer at all. But something that did give me cause for pause is that apparently you would have had to have watched Loki to understand who these people are that feature predominantly in the Deadpool 3 trailer. Now, I have not personally watched Loki because I have no interest in watching Loki, because a Disney Plus show should not be required viewing before I watch Disney take what 20th Century Fox created and use it to their advantage.
I don't get it.
This is the problem with integrating established characters into a separate established universe. It tends to get messy and it makes the viewer feel like they have to do homework or play catch-up prior to seeing this new movie. And I'll say this again until I'm blue in the face, a good movie should be able to stand on its own. But in this trailer, it's made clear that Deadpool is being introduced to the concept of the multiverse. And he even addresses Disney's cinematic universe in a very self-aware and meta way. Now, I will give them this, Deadpool is the right character to do this with because of his tendency to break the fourth wall anyway. So I do believe he is the right character to tell this story with as he bridges the gap between these two universes. I just don't know if the execution is going to be there because that's typically the problem with modern entertainment.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
As far as Deadpool as a character being consistent after his move to Disney, we have jokes about pegging and we have an F-bomb being thrown around, So on the surface, it seems consistent. However, I would use caution when saying that Disney gave them free rein to do whatever they want, because I think the jury is still out on that. But it would not surprise me at all if Deadpool 3 does in fact end up feeling like he's been a bit neutered, and they try to hide it with his typical cursing and debauchery, but we all know better. Because believe it or not, I actually think that Deadpool is a little bit more than that. And we'll have to wait and see if the humor does in fact feel organic, like it did in the previous Fox Deadpool movies. Because if there's one thing that Marvel Studios is terrible at, it's delivering humor.
Ha ha, very funny, motherfucker.
As far as the action goes, we have Deadpool doing a lot of Deadpool things, nothing too concerning or memorable going on there. I do find it kind of humorous that people are acting like Deadpool reloading his guns in midair is somehow the second coming of the bullet time effect in The Matrix. But it is normal for people to overhype things in 2024 that are actually pretty average.
Not impressed.
As far as the Easter eggs and cameos go, I'm sure that this film will be built on them. We will definitely have situations where Deadpool is randomly dropped into iconic moments in MCU history. Because again, the MCU has already proven that they are out of ideas, so it's only natural for them to revisit what worked before. And they are very obviously going to be using Deadpool to do just that. It also appears that Pyro from X2 X-Men United will be making his return in this film. I've always liked that character, so it will be interesting to see how they use him in his return here. We then have the big moment where Deadpool is laid out and we see a very recognizable shadow standing over him. The claws come out, Wolverine lunges at Deadpool, and that's how the trailer comes to an end.
Whoopie do. Hey, I'm impressed.
Now, even though we already have official images of Wolverine in his suit for the first time, I was glad that they didn't show a lot of him in the trailer. I would leave as much of Hugh Jackman's return and his interactions with Deadpool up to the imagination for as long as possible. Hugh Jackman is going to be the biggest reason that a lot of people show up for this film, so it was definitely a good idea to not reveal too much. Letting all of that play out naturally on screen like they did with Tobey Maguire's return in No Way Home is the way to go. Because that is by far the most interesting aspect of this movie going in. So good on them for not spoiling that for a cheap thrill in the trailer. Now my biggest concern will always be, is Hugh Jackman's Wolverine going to be treated respectfully? Or will he be used as a stepping stone? A character that they can tear down to make one of their own characters look that much better, because that is the MO at Disney. But I can't stress this enough, track record as always is everything. So we really can't sit here and act like that's not a real possibility coming from Disney. Bottom line, there wasn't a whole lot in this trailer for me that made it feel like a game changer that everyone else is proclaiming it to be. And a game changer is what I'm looking for currently in the comic book movie genre. The status quo just isn't going to do it for me personally anymore. And if we are being honest with ourselves, this whole MCU multiverse saga has been pretty underwhelming since they rolled it out. They have an opportunity to right some wrongs of other films like Multiverse of Madness. Will they be able to do that? That remains to be seen. I'm skeptical clearly because we've been down this road before, haven't we? I'd like to think that this movie is going to be a little bit more than nostalgia bait and another missed opportunity, but the benefit of the doubt is not something that I'm willing to give Marvel Studios right now. I have to assume they are who they are until they prove otherwise, and one underwhelming trailer is not going to change my mind about that.
Y'all be cool. Right on.